This is Arts Alive. I'm Lynda Philippi. My guests today are Beth and Graham Rankin, and they are local artisan craftspeople here to talk about their latest creations. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
So interesting. I mean, I know we've been trying to get you on the show and to talk about some of the things that you do. So why don't you, between the two of you, why don't you just kind of introduce yourselves a bit and explain what it is that you do?
Okay. I do woodworking. I say it's wine-related woodworking.
Okay.
Making things recycled wine corks, wood items, and then things that would go well with wine and cheese and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And it started out as a hobby before we moved to McMinnville and before I retired as a college professor, and it's now our small business.
Nice, nice. And what about you?
Well, I sew, and I like to sew bags. I like to keep things very affordable. I upcycle fabric as much as I can, or when we travel, I like to get unique fabrics in those other places. So I will make bags like this, a cute little winter type motif with snowflakes. But I like to do things that are custom. If somebody comes in and says they need a bag for their laptop and they need so many pockets, or one woman said she was going to the gym and needed something that would hold her bathing suit without everything else getting wet. And they pick their fabrics, they design their bags, they get their bags, they're affordable, and they love them.
So they just would come in, meet with you, sit down, talk about this business.
I've also done it long distance using internet with showing them the fabrics.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so I've done it long distance as well.
Skyping.
Yep, no problem.
I love it, that's great.
Done it long distance quite a bit.
Yeah. Now, were you doing this sort of work in West Virginia?
Not at all.
Really?
No, just I started teaching a child to sew. My mom was a wonderful sewer. She could sew very well. I never will achieve that status, but it was just something always for fun, you know, sew a dress once in a while and hem a skirt, whatever. But teaching that child to sew, and then we started with some really kid little bags and stuff like that, and it just was fun. I got to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I love it. And so really you picked it mostly when you got here is when you really started in with it.
Much more here. And defining it more as custom versus just doing what I felt like doing.
And then taking him to a craft show or something like that.
Right.
So now primarily, what's the vehicle for selling your work?
Well, we've taken advantage of the Art and Wine Walks here in McMinnville as well as Newburgh, and that just exposes it out a little bit more. Just recently, this past weekend, there was the Holiday Bazaar at the Yamhill County Fairgrounds that I helped organize, and there will be another one in April, the second weekend of April.
Okay.
So people can contact me if they're artists or artisans or craftspeople.
Oh, you're the producer of the event.
Right, so
Ooh.
they can contact me
Okay.
if they're interested in getting on. But it's just, you know, it's fun to do. Rice bags, aprons, all kinds of things. Just
What's a rice bag?
a rice bag, you put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, so it's cold and you have a headache.
Oh, what
Or
are
you
those?
put it in
I
the
know.
microwave and heat it up. And,
Okay.
and
they smell like lavender or
you could
something?
put lavender inside,
Right.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Okay.
It's filled with dry rice.
Right.
And it
okay.
just heats up in the microwave, or you keep it cold in the freezer, and it lasts for like 20 minutes, and it's renewable.
Those are great. Actually, they're heavy and they just feel so good, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that.
Yeah, all
and then
kinds of
you
stuff.
are the mad woodworker.
Woodworking, yeah.
Oh, yes, the wine woodworker. And
Okay.
The drunken woodworker is already taken.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but what I do is, this is an example of what I refer to as it's a trivet to protect your tabletop. This one is my lasagna size pan.
I like
for
it.
lasagna size, where you can take the casserole directly out of the oven, put it on the top, and then carry it to the table. And it's got cork feet, so it's not going to scratch the
I love
tabletop.
it. Okay, great.
So, and I make my own frames. I have worked as a picture framer in a craft store many years ago, while in grad school. And the other fun part of it is to one, to be able to put the corks in, putting the corks in such that I make an interesting patterns, but also no two corks are alike.
I love that.
So this one is from all over the country. I have one. There are 96 corks in this one, actually all over the world. So you can play a game even with your wine-loving friends to say, first of all, how many different ones are they all different? You got to check that. And then how many different countries and states are represented? And yes, California and Oregon are represented, but in France, but there's other places there's this one may even have some from West Virginia or from Maryland or someplace else that you don't think of as a wine producer. I also have been we're not only just a regular wine corks, but this one is using champagne corks. And this is truly a custom because is a wedding or an anniversary gift. So it arranged ahead of time, and then I would put the name of the bride and groom and the wedding date. And as I tell the bride-to-be, he'll never forget your anniversary because it's on the table every night. So, and actually, if they are having a champagne reception, we have gift certificate kind of things so that they can actually save the corks.
Yeah, I was thinking
and
that.
I will incorporate their corks into the design, into the pattern. Because as I also say, if anybody's going to have 64 bottles of champagne at the reception, I want an invitation.
I was going to say, yeah, they better invite us, huh?
Yeah. And again, because I do the frames, I can match the style and the color of the furniture or their decor. So
I think it's a wonderful idea.
yeah, and then I have a couple. This is one of my new little inventions. It solves the problem of being at a wine and cheese party with a plate in one hand and a glass in the other. And you got to put something down, okay? So now you have a spare hand.
Right.
And actually, I have sold the Peroni and daughter bought a number of these for when they have a wine and cheese function at that store. And I'm also talking to some wineries about incorporate, for them to have it for events.
Yeah, it's great.
And of course, I am selling them to the public. And and then the last thing that I've been, most recent thing that I've done, I had again, someone from back east had sent me on the internet, sent me a picture of a cork wine bottle thing and said, can you do something like, and this is the result. This was a commission, and it gets shipped out tomorrow.
That's fun.
And it is, again, because you've got the, 2 wine glasses. The original picture that she sent had 1, and I said, no, you shouldn't drink alone. So I had put in a second wine glass.
That.
And,
Always thinking.
Oh, yeah. And again, it matched. This was to match the size that she wanted, the type of frame, and everything. So and all of that is mine. I did not make the ribbon. That actually came from
my stock.
Yeah, from her stock. So, but that's the kind of thing that I do. I do have the wine and cheese boards. These are. I have these in Northwest Gifts, Food and Gifts, and they've been selling. Again, it's a nice thing, especially this time of the holidays.
Absolutely.
And then the trivets, I have some of those along with a cheese serving tray that at GRS Artisans Boutique. And a while back, you did have Gloria on the show, so
Right.
And it's nice to have things in her shop because again, we like to support the local businesses
Sure,
as
of
well
course.
as and fellow artists.
So how long have you been living in McMinnville?
Just a little bit over a year. We arrived last September, beginning of September. We
2013.
we knew that Graham was going to be able to retire, and we decided, as much as we enjoyed West Virginia and all the people we had met and the things we were doing in Huntington, we didn't have family there. And we started thinking, where do we want to live the last chapter of our lives?
Sure.
So we did a lot of research, and we both had been drawn, before we got married, we had each been drawn to the Northwest. And we narrowed it down to Oregon. We looked at the coast, we looked at the valley, we actually narrowed it down to Corvallis for a long time because it was most similar to where we were coming from. Same size city, university town, that sort of thing. But then we heard about McMinnville, and here we are.
Okay, and once you got here, you started teaching again, right?
Yes, I'm doing some adjunct teaching at Western Oregon, and that's just one course a quarter kind of thing. So it's
Close enough to retired.
yeah. It's just a little
keeps
supplement, and
his
again,
favorite.
it keeps. I enjoyed teaching, and so it keeps me in harness, so to speak.
You know, this is interesting because my husband and I have had this conversation. When you have this, body of knowledge, and then all of a sudden, nothing, right? You retire. Well, what happens to all of the knowledge? I mean, you still have a lot to give. So the idea, I think doing it part-time like this is really perfect. Are you going to write a book or anything like that?
Oh, no. I don't. No, I'm
The books have been written?
I'm not a big.
He
writing,
writes well, but he doesn't like to write.
I don't
Okay.
like to write.
Okay.
I like teaching, and so I will continue doing that. And then I give talks at.
He
around-
actually gave a talk for the Science Pub by OMSI.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he stays involved.
I'm staying involved.
And we're involved in the community.
So, yeah, we've getting involved with a number of different other things, and most recently we're involved with the, particularly me, with the helping to provide winter shelter for the
Right.
homeless. So, and so. I'm
So you
part of
really
that.
made yourself at home in
Oh yeah.
this
Well,
community.
that was one of the things about a town this size. It's easier to get involved.
It's true.
And especially McMinnville, where there are a lot of people, as we found out in our year here, a lot of people are not from McMinnville. They're like us, have moved into town, so it's more welcoming of outsiders. And that's, so we're able to jump in and get involved.
Well, I really appreciate you coming today and showing, your work and hearing about what you do. And I wish you lots of success. And if people want to find you, they can find you at your website, which is creationsbybg. Dot what we can't say. So, but they can find you
Yes.
online and also a number of places around town.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
you.
very much.